Hi everyone. So welcome to our first panel talk of the evening to mark Windrush 75. So it's to mark 75 years since the HMT Empire Windrush hit British shores after Caribbean people from all across the Caribbean answered the call to rebuild the country after the Second World War. So I'd just like to introduce our panel for this evening. So on the end we have Audley Forrester MB. In the middle, we have Joyce Williams, and then at the end here next to me, we have Frank Wallace. So hi, everybody. Okay, so I guess just to start, yes. A bit louder, okay. Can everybody hear me now? Yeah? Fab, okay. So yeah, just to begin the conversation then, I guess what I wanted to ask is why specifically you chose Doncaster? How did you end up here? So this is for everybody. Would you like to go first?
No, for Doncaster, I came to London originally. I spent 2.5 years in London.
Yeah.
But then I had two brothers who were living in Doncaster.
Okay.
And my first when I leave London, I was on my way to Scotland.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's where you're going. I set off and I thought, well, because somebody told me that I've got a tartan up there. He said, Wally's tartan. So I set off and then I stopped off at Doncaster at my brother's. And I ain't got any further yet. I got married, buy a house, and that was it.
Oh, I love
and
that.
I'm still here.
Fantastic. Joyce, what about you? How did you end up in Doncaster?
Yeah, when I came here, I'm Joyce Williams. I came here 1963, but I didn't come on the Windrush, so I came to Workstop.
Okay.
Yeah, and I lived in Workstop for 5 years.
Yeah.
Then I decided to move to Doncaster.
Yeah.
And the reason why I moved to Doncaster, my husband had a job in the mine.
Okay.
So that's why I moved to Doncaster.
Yeah.
And then I've got family as well.
Okay.
So I moved on.
So
I've been here ever since.
Fantastic. Okay, Audley, what about you?
I arrived in 1955 in Nottingham, and there weren't suitable work for me as a Black person.
Yeah.
And I found myself self-sufficient and dependent. And I wanted to earn some money. And I went to what was known as a job center. And they said, well, you can earn some money by working down the pit.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what a pit was. Anyway, I was only 19 years of age as well. So he said, well, the pits in Nottinghamshire have very low seams. So you're better going to Doncaster, where the seams will be more suitable to my height.
Yeah.
So I arrived in Doncaster and lived in the miners' hostel on Sandringham Road.
Yeah.
And there I met a lot of different nationalities.
Yeah.
And then I started training at the Markham Main Colliery, so. And then I went down on the ground.
Yeah.
I was scared stiff.
I bet. Do you think it was like a culture shock, like the difference between? Because where did you? In fact, actually, probably best to ask. So I'm assuming you came from Jamaica. Yeah. So everybody. Yeah.
Jamaica.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what was it like when you got off the transport and you ended up in England? What was?
Well, I was quite excited because my mother made it sound so exciting.
Yeah.
And but I was seasick all the way to
Like.
Paris. And then I arrived in Southampton.
Yeah.
On the SS Ascania, which is an Italian-based ship.
Okay.
Passenger boat. And after that, I looked out traveling on the train and saw all what I thought were churches, and they were chimneys. There was a soldier sat next to me, so he was explaining things as we traveled along and made the journey. And so it was a culture shock.
Yeah. Okay, Joyce, what about you? Was it a culture shock for you?
Yeah, when I first came, it was really cold.
Oh,
Yeah, because I came in November. And it was so grey, and I'm wondering why I've left a warm country,
yeah,
and come to England.
yeah,
But after a while, then I get settled down.
yeah.
So, I was okay.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Frank?
Yeah, it was because when we came to I came on an airplane
Mhm.
because it was, if my memory serves me right, I think it was £75 for the boat and 85 for the crew
Yeah,
for a one-way ticket.
yeah.
So we sort of put the extra £10 and me and brother of mine came.
Travelled in style.
So we traveled together. Yeah, so the flight was fine
Mhm.
until it start shaking, and then it start rattling and it rattling and shaking, and every so often it start to whoop, and it start to oops. But we got here and we got to Heathrow and got off and looked out and sort of we used to the blue sky and the sunshine.
Mm.
You looked out and you couldn't see the sun anyway. So anyway, my father came and picked us up and took us where we were living.
Mhm.
And then you discovered that you've only got one room. You do everything in this room. You cook in the room, you eat in the room, you sleep, and that was it. There were two beds. He had one, and then me and my brother and I had to share the next one.
Yeah.
And then you start to everything done in the room. All of a sudden, that he decided to put a cooker out on the landing. So you start to you got one ring for each person. So you cook your meat and you take it inside. You go in and cook the food and you take that inside, and then you share it out. You see, but it was. I think we were more together then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we just been here and away from family.
Mm.
You see another black person and you sort of you'll go and visit.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for an invitation. You go and visit him and you have a chat, and then from there you and him will go somewhere else and meet up with somebody else and have a chat, and
Yeah.
before you know where you are, you got friends.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, it was okay. Apart from the teddy boys.
I'll avoid them. So that's sort of what I wanted to ask next, was just about the communities and what it was like. Because whenever my grandparents talk about their sort of experience coming to England for the first time, they always talk about like the house parties and the clubs. And I just wondered, what was that like here? Anybody?
Oh, the house party, them were nice. So when they were sort of, yeah, those people who had their own house,
Mhm.
they usually keep the cellars where they have their parties, and they sort of meet up down there, and everybody sort of club together and buy the drinks and the stuff for the food, and
Yeah.
so you sort of have a dance, eat, and
Yeah. What kind of music was playing?
then it was
Calypso,
Calypso, Blue Beat.
Played with a lot of
Yeah, it was
American
mostly
music as
Calypso
well.
then, and then the American sort of jazz started coming, and then we got the Blue Beat and the ska.
Yeah.
It was, we were good.
Yeah.
Well, you enjoy yourself.
Yeah. What about you, Audley?
Yes, I enjoyed it. I went to those parties, had a lot of fun, and I see one particular gentleman who had quite a big house, and the basement was turned into like a dance hall.
Yeah.
And so we went there and enjoyed ourselves,
Yeah.
and meet other people, other Caribbean people
Yeah.
in there. Have a lot of fun. Some of his grandchildren I bump into occasionally.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that's lovely. Did it give you like a sense of, feeling like you were back
Well,
home?
a sense of belonging, you know, because it wasn't that easy out on the streets,
Yeah.
you know, like Frank said, petty boys. I wouldn't dare at that time, remembering things now,
Yeah.
go into town on my own.
Really?
No,
Wow.
we would say, have someone else. There was a chap called Percy Hall, and I used to say to Percy, would you like to go to town? And there was another chap, a friend of ours, and he would join in, and at least 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
And we were only going to the pictures,
Yeah.
you know, going to see a movie or something like that.
Yeah. What about you, Joyce? What was the community like when you first came to Doncaster?
Well, living in Workstop, there weren't a lot, we call them black people.
Mhm.
Living in Workstop, there weren't a lot of black people,
No.
but there were a few.
Yeah.
But you know, they all make you welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereabouts did you guys move to when you came into Doncaster? Which area did you live in?
I live in Workstop, then I moved to Doncaster, to
Oh,
Balby.
Bowlby.
To
Right,
Balby,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And there was a few more people.
There was a lot more, yeah. So then I feel more at home
Yeah.
while I went to Doncaster, yeah. Then I went to work at Peddlers.
What's peddlers?
It's a factory that make taps and radiators.
And how long did you work there for?
32 years. Yeah.
Wow. You retired now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
retired. Yeah, retired.
Okay, so my next question is for Audley. So you are an MBE, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you like to run us through how you sort of got to that?
Well, when I left the I should say, I eventually left the mines and I went to work for international office, and they were on strike regular, and I couldn't be part of all that striking that was going on. I went to work on the buses as a conductor,
Okay.
and decided that I was making enough money now on the buses because you keep doubling back.
Mhm.
You'll finish at midnight or 11 o'clock, 10:30 as it used to be in those days. And then I went back in early morning. You got to the depot and they would offer you overtime. So you just kept working.
Yeah.
And then eventually I going through the ranks, so to speak. I was a bus conductor. I was a bus driver. I was a bus one-man operator. I was an inspector. And in 1986, the Conservative government under Margaret Thatcher
Mhm.
deregulated the transport system. So there had to be a different body
Yeah.
to manage the transport and change the outlook of public transport in England.
Yeah.
And I applied for one of the jobs for the transport executive.
Yeah.
And was made a manager. And from there on, the whole system of public transport got changed in South Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And I was on there for 32 years. Getting my wife to remind me. I'm 87 now.
Really? Yeah, look a day over 21.
So, and I was in charge of what was then Pond Street in Sheffield.
Yeah.
And change it into an interchange.
Wow.
Crystal Peaks and Barnsley. We had to have a particular type of purchase,
Yeah.
compulsory purchase from Yorkshire Traction to get Barnsley,
Really?
and then Rotherham. And we did a lot of other things to do with blind people, to do with Braille, to do with customers having a group
Yeah.
to tell us what else we can do. you know.
Oh,
So we did all that.
yeah.
And then I don't know who recommended it, but I got a letter saying I've been selected to have an MV.
I think
Will
that
I-
deserves a round of applause, by the way.
I doubted the letter.
Really?
I thought one of my fellow people
Was a prank.
were winding me up. So I didn't reply.
Really?
No, until my wife said to me, I think you should reply.
Goodness.
So I replied, and then I was told not to say anything to anyone. And I kept that because I'm pretty good at keeping,
Alright. Cool.
you know, to say. So I never repeated anything to anyone.
Yeah.
And I was actually at work on a Sunday when the national newspaper contacted me,
Yeah.
Sheffield Telegraph or something
Mm-hmm.
contacted me and said, congratulations, can I come and interview you right now? And I said, how do you know I'm at work?
Yeah.
And they said, we phoned you home,
You weren't there.
and then we phoned one of the managers, or the managers, the executives,
Yeah.
and he said, he will be at work. He's always at work. And so, and that was it. And move the story along. I got from the Queen herself,
Wow.
the late Queen, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you like?
Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sweating.
I bet.
My hands. I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
And we had to go through a corridor area.
Yeah.
My wife was in the audience, and plus two friends
Yeah.
were in the audience. And I said to this lady before I actually went in front of the Queen, I said to her, I said, I'm nervous, I'm shaking. She said, you will be okay.
Mm.
You know, I must just had this bit. I wasn't top hat and all that stuff that I heard.
Nice. Fantastic.
And soon as I got in front of her, I was totally at ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I spent a lot of time talking to her. Or she talking to me. But I hadn't met her before.
Had you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When I was 16 years of age in Jamaica,
Really?
I joined the army.
Yeah.
Illegally.
I should have been 18, but
Yeah.
my friend and I, we were both 16, and we saw the military people
Yeah.
parked up outside the police station.
Yeah.
And I said, wonder what's going on in there. So we went in and asked what they were doing. And they said they were recruiting for the army.
Yeah.
I said, what age you have to be? He said, 18. I said, oh, we've just made it. So there I did. Joined the army. Had a travel voucher. We had to be in the capital, Kingston,
Yeah.
about 42 miles away.
Yeah.
That same night, we went back to my mother. She wasn't quite happy, but then she said, okay,
Yeah.
you know, and we went. And so just to let you sort of know how I actually come to see, I didn't meet her in a shake hand.
Yeah.
I actually was on parade In 1953,
Yes.
after her coronation,
Wow.
she visited Jamaica.
Mm.
And I was on parade, and because of my height, I was second in the front row
Wow.
of the soldiers. And she just was past inspecting, and she really inspected. She really
Did
looked,
she?
Mhm.
and I
Stickler.
thought, boy, they are the bluest eyes I've ever seen. But on that occasion,
Mm.
when she stepped off the royal boat yacht,
Mhm.
it was raining, and a gentleman rushed forward and took his tuxedo off and threw it in the pool. When we could see from where we were,
Yeah.
and the security people arrested him, but she didn't step onto his jacket.
No.
No, she walked around it.
Mhm.
Anyway, it wasn't charged. We
That's
later learned that,
Yeah.
that what he was doing is Sir Walter Raleigh.
Ah.
I should know what that is.
Yeah,
Go on, Frank. Explain to
I
what
think,
it is.
no, so Walter Raleigh was the one that, was it Queen Victoria?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
took
he
his
did it
coat
to,
off.
he did it to Queen Victoria, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah, and
Sorry.
she stopped her shoes from getting wet. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. That makes
Anyway,
sense.
Yeah.
that's how it was.
That is a
Yeah.
brilliant story. Thank you.
But I also guarded his Princess Margaret.
Oh,
Actually
really?
guarded her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
on her visit.
Was that in Jamaica as well?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
visited Jamaica a lot.
Yeah. Well, I bet you would. I would.
And
Fantastic. All right. So, Frank, I'm going to move on to you now. So, you have donated a lot of photographs to the museum for the collections, and in some of those photos, you're in a band, I believe. So, do you mind telling us a little bit about your
Yeah.
musical side?
Oh, well, no, that started, I think, about 67, 68, I think it was.
Hmm.
But the photograph that you see outside there,
Yeah.
that was more or less the last, that was taken in the 80s.
Yeah.
When everything was more or less winding down.
Yeah.
Because there was, when we started out, we were four black lads of us.
Yeah.
There was Ozzy Rankin, Sammy Rankin, Steve, we used to call him Steve, but his name was Wilbert.
Okay.
He was a drummer, and then I was the bass player.
Yeah.
And we sort of, we did, we went and we were doing badly,
Hmm.
and we did an interview for Opportunity Knox once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we went to Leeds.
Mhm.
Yeah, we went to Leeds and did that interview, but we didn't get to the television bit.
Mhm.
And then we more or less did all the clubs around, a lot of the clubs around Doncaster.
Yeah.
And then that group folded. And then I met up with three white lads.
Hmm.
No, two white lads, which were Dave, Norman Sims, and Dave Blackburn. And they decided to set a group up.
Yeah.
So I got to tea with me, and we went and we joined. And that was, we were called Bowler then.
Bowler.
Mm.
Okay.
And then we did we did all right. So no, what is his name now? Tommy Edwards was one of our agents, and Bill, can't remember his second name.
Mhm.
Bill Turner. He was the other agent for us.
Yeah.
And we were doing okay. We did a week in Blackpool,
Yeah.
and we were supported asked for drifters a couple of times.
Really.
Yeah, we're doing okay. We did most of clubs around from Doncaster to Leeds,
Yeah.
Nottingham, Bradford, Manchester. But the trouble was, you see, we didn't want to go professional because it was a sort of precarious job sort of thing, and a couple of the lads, so well, three of us did have family, so
Yeah.
we didn't want to take the chance, so we sort of carried on, and then the group folded,
Yeah.
and then now me and the chap, you seen the photograph, Norman Sims from Antwerp.
Hmm.
We decided we carry on when the group folded. We decided we carry on.
Yeah.
So that's that photograph, and that lasted until 82 or 83, I think it was.
Hmm.
And we did okay. So well, most of the clubs around here, we used to do Sheffield pretty regular.
Yeah.
Those we used to do noon and night. Used to do Manor Top, Manor Park. But it was three clubs together.
Right.
And what we used to do, if you book at the top one, when you started off, it was full.
Okay.
And then you start to go for your break, and then they had the bingo, you come back out, and there was no, yeah, and there was nobody there. There was nobody left. If you do the middle club, you go in there, your first spot, nobody there.
Yeah.
Second spot, you were full. Third spot, nobody there. You go on the bottom club, nobody there for the first two spot one. The third spot, you were full. Because what they did, they take it in turn to play the bingo.
Oh.
So the people follow the bingo from the top. But it was good fun.
Yeah.
It was good fun. We sort of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I still see Norman every so often. I still go and look for him every so often.
Yeah.
But a lot of the lads now, so well, the drummers, and say one of our first drummer was a female drummer. That was back in the late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Sylvia, I think her first name. I can't remember her second name.
Mm.
It's and then we sort of moved to a couple of lads. I don't know whether she got married and whatever, but she did pack it in, so we moved through. Had guys drummer from there on in.
Yeah.
So we did okay, and we sort of finished up where I think it was about 82, 83, I think,
Yeah.
when we sort of decided to call it a day.
Yeah.
We thought we're getting a bit long in the tooth.
You still play now?
Yes,
Double.
yes, a double. What I do? So the missus sort of, she's a Christian lady who sort of go to church every Sunday, like.
Mm-hmm.
So now I start to follow her, go around, and
Yeah.
I start to play the bass for them on Sunday.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Occasionally, it's like on
Right, son.
a third Sunday there.
Do you go to the same church?
Yes, I got these things.
And a third Sunday, they sort of forced me to sing a song for them.
Oh.
Third Sunday.
He's a very good singer.
Are you gonna bless us now?
No. No, so I sort of do a song for them on a third Sunday,
Yeah.
but I'm not actually a member, but
Yeah.
I sort of thought, well, I have sheep, so well, the missus play the drums, and
We're trying to drag him in, but
Yeah, your skill set.
we need the,
So was it original music you were doing, or was it covers?
well, we're doing covers.
Yeah.
We're doing covers. Several we supported drifters.
Mm-hmm.
So UB40, we knew UB40 before they were famous.
Really?
We used to be on the same stage together. Yeah. So sometimes we used to do when we used to do more ends.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they used to do two turns, and they do one and they come off and we do one, and then we go off, they come back, and
Yeah,
that at that time they weren't famous then.
no,
Uh, we did okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds it. Okay, so Joyce, just moving on to you now then. So looking back over all of the years that you've been in England, what would you say is your proudest memory?
When my proudest memory, when my youngest son, he got graduated
Hmm.
and he's got a master's.
Yeah,
And my other three children, they've done really well as well.
yeah,
Because my daughter, she's a counselor.
really?
Yeah, and one of my sons, he's a computer specialist.
Yeah,
So they've all done very well.
yeah,
So, I'm glad I came to this country.
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about that when you came over, about what it would be like education wise, or was that not even in your mind at that point?
No, that wasn't in my mind then. Yeah.
Yeah,
As time go by, you see the system and how it works. But if you want to get somewhere, you've really got to work at it.
yeah,
Yeah, you can't just sit back and it comes to you. You
Yeah.
have to, put time in. And like me, I'm always on to my children because I always wanted them to have a good education,
yeah,
and which, I'm very proud. They've done me proud.
yeah.
Yes.
And how old were you when you came over?
19.
19. So you
Yeah.
didn't go.
Yeah.
Were you 19 as well?
Yeah.
Really? How old were you?
When I came,
Yeah.
19.
19.
See, it seems to be that was into the ages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Was it
Yeah.
just, was that just around the, because I assume you didn't all come in the same year. What year did you come?
I am 62.
62,
And I came 63.
63,
55.
55, and you all just happened to be, that's so strange. Wow, okay.
But we only come for 5 years.
Yeah.
All the Jamaicans.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
we come for 5 years, and when we earn enough money to support our family back home,
Yeah,
then we go back home.
yeah,
And it's nearly 58 years, and we're still here.
And we're still here.
We're still here. Yeah.
do you think you'd ever move back?
No, I
No,
want to go.
no.
Would you move back?
Yeah.
You miss it?
I still have to. This year, sorry, last year we didn't go, but we didn't go back. But for the last 5 years,
Yeah,
for the last 5 years or so, we usually when the missus goes out in end of October, and we stay there till end of February, beginning of March, and come back again.
yeah.
So we started working on the idea that we might sort of spend the winter out there on summer this side. So I said, I've got my garden too. I've got my allotment to keep me going. So.
Have you been back many times over the years?
Yes.
Yeah, you go often.
Family funerals and
Yeah,
visiting. Yeah.
and you still got family.
I still got family, yes. Yeah.
I've been back.
That lady.
I should say,
Oh, is she? Right.
we've been back a few times.
Yeah.
We've been to funeral, my mother's funeral.
Yeah,
I went to weddings.
yeah.
I have members of the family in Canada,
Oh, nice.
and and the son got married in Jamaica. So we went to Jamaica to do,
Good.
so
Yeah,
yes. But there's no point in me going back.
yeah.
I'm 87. I would have to start my life all over again. And I don't want to do that.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so just to finish off then, a final question for all three of you is, if you could go back to your younger self before you travelled over to England, what piece of advice would you give?
Can I go first?
Of course. Great.
Looking back, what I went through, and what I've been through on arrival, if I had had my return fare, I would have gone back home.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Crazy. Are you glad you stayed now though? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And Joyce?
I said to the young people, once they're here, then they've got to meet good friends,
Yeah.
as they might come across racism,
Yeah.
because, that is still Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have to just buckle down, and study, not getting into trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good friends.
Okay. Okay. Nice. What's yours? Bring a jacket.
No, so, for me, I was same as Audley actually. When I landed, for the first few months, I wanted the owner was to pay me fees I could go back
Yeah.
because I didn't sort of appreciate it. But eventually, he sort of took me around and showed me various places and just like because when we came here, we were living in London then.
Yeah.
We had to go from Peckham. We were living in Peckham then. We had to leave from Peckham. You could only have a proper bath once a week.
Yeah.
It was on a Friday. Just to go to this public bath. It was a public bath, and you start to get undressed and get in bath. This guy go around and fill the bath up. And you stayed in there for a while, and then you shout, "More hot water!" And then they come with the bucket, with a pail of hot water and pour in. And that I didn't appreciate. I didn't appreciate the fact of this sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
but in the end, I didn't do badly because I finished when I got redundant from Harvester. I finished my degree in 2001.
Mhm.
So I didn't do too badly. I got a degree out of it.
Yeah.
I was all right.
Good. And you met UB40.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and drifters.
Yeah.
She say no times up.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I would just like to finish this off by saying thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing your memories with us today. It's really been an honor.
Thank